Oh, it's been quite a while, hasn't it? It is June, let me think here, 11th, 2025. And I've decided that I'm going to try a new format for this podcast. Some of you know I'm a songwriter and singer, and I've written a number of songs. Well over 100, I'm sure. Anyway, so I thought to myself, well, why not incorporate that into the podcast? So the new format will be, oh, by the way, I'm Charles Lennart. This is the NI versus AI podcast. I thought, well, how about if I start each podcast by singing you all a song? Just really stripped down, nothing fancy, just me and my guitar. Probably screw up and can't even remember most of my own songs anymore. But so I'll sing y'all a song, and then I'll proceed to discuss something which is at least tangentially related to the song that I just sung. So today the song I'm going to sing, I haven't recorded it yet, but I will when I get home, is called Gimme Money, and the topic of... Okay, so here we go, June 11th, 2025. This is just the phone on my knee and me in the backyard playing the guitar. So no fancy studio effects here, which is kind of the goal. Fuck the middle class, I wanna be rich. Why should you be friends when I can make you my bitch? Some part of that's true, but you know which. Sorry kids, that's just the way it is. We are a greedy publicity species. If you don't believe me, try New York City. All nobody's trying to be somebody, and everybody's bumping into everybody. But I don't need love, fame, or respect. Give me the cash and fuck the rest. Give me money. Money, money, money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Money, 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 money. I should rap like Eminem more than again. Fuck him, he only made about 60 little million, and I need at least 100 billion to carry out my evil plan. Buy a bunch of TV stations, proceed to brainwash the nation, get them to come to me, purchase shit, 'cause I don't need love, fame, and respect. Give me the cash and fuck the rest. Give me money. Money, money, money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me money, 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 yeah. If I were the band, this is where we do the solo. Just to remind you, Why should we be friends when I can make you my bitch? Part of that's true, you know which. Sorry kids, that's just the way it fucking is. We all a greedy duplicitous species. And if you don't believe me, try New York City. All the nobodies, they're trying to be somebody, and everybody's bumping into everybody. But I don't need love, fame, or respect. Give me the cash, fuck the rest. Give me money, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me money, 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 money. And then we go. Thank you very much. The podcast is money. And money is a funny thing because everyone wants it. I mean, who doesn't want money? You know, if you handed me $10 million, I would definitely say thank you very much and, you know, deposit it in my bank and call my financial advisor and figure out what to do. No one's going to turn down money, right? And at the same time, it is the source of so much misery and evil, you know, either the lack of money or even having too much money. You know, too much money can make people pretty evil. So it's a paradoxical thing, and it is that way when looked at from, you know, the perspective of natural intelligence, which is intelligence that comes from within, and artificial intelligence, which is intelligence that comes from something outside. Because money is both the ultimate artificial, well, let's say the ultimate result of artificial intelligence, or the prime motivation of what I call organic artificial intelligence, which is the way we're all programmed to think a certain way and do certain things. You know, we think we're really smart when we, I don't know, discuss whatever is in our feeds, but we don't understand we're being programmed that way. That's artificial intelligence, even though it's coming from an organic being. And we're all kind of programmed very specifically into a mindset of fear and lack, because that makes us easier to control. And money is, you know, really the linchpin of the whole thing. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, I need enough money. What if I don't have enough money? And at the same time, money is the ultimate kind of form of, well, something that's related to natural intelligence, which that is to say comes from within our hearts and our souls. Not yours and mine, but the people who run the world, you know. They kind of run this big scam on us where it's like, oh yeah, these numbers in bank computers really mean something. And then, you know, they even call it your net worth, like your worth, whatever the computers say you're worth. Personally, I don't think people are worth that. I'll get to that later. I think you're worth your contributions, tangible contributions, and you will not always be remunerated for those. And in fact, sometimes those will cost you something in terms of money, which is another paradox, because you would think, you know, you look at someone who has a lot of money and you think, oh, that guy must be really, like, talented, right? He must have really provided some value to the world. So, like, you own a coffee shop, and I walk in and, you know, I buy a cappuccino and croissant, and I give you $10, okay? And you earned that because you produced this nice coffee and cappuccino. And when you think about that, the money involved is just it's just a ledger, right? It's a way of keeping track. It's like, okay, debit me $10 and credit you $10, and you got that $10 because you earned it, right? And we all want to think that, oh, someone who has a lot of money must have really earned it, but in fact, that's usually not the case. People who are obsessed with money are people who will do anything for money, i.e. criminals, fraudsters. Well, not always. I mean, a lot of people have earned their money through hard work and skill and, I don't know, just talent. Skill and talent are not quite the same thing in my mind. So you could take someone who's very skillful at a musical instrument, they've trained themselves, they've worked really hard, and they can play beautifully. That doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're talented in the sense that they can create something new. In a sense, they're kind of artificially intelligent. No, I'm not to throw shade on, well-trained musicians, but just illustrating the difference between skill and talent. Anyway, so sometimes people earn money because they're very skillful, talented, they work hard, but usually not. Usually they either inherit it or, they did something underhanded or nefarious or fraudulent to get it. So, like, you could say, for example, like net worth, like Justin Bieber's net worth is much higher than mine. Does that mean his music is better than mine? No. In fact, I doubt most of it is even his music, It's like stuff that here, kids, sing this. We'll make you a big star. Here, go out there and smile for the cameras and dance around and be cute. And then do whatever nasty stuff you're doing at the Diddy parties, and we'll keep you in the club. Ha 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 ha. So to equate money with worth is not exactly right. I mean, although in an ideal world it would, it's supposed to work like that. So, this is a beautiful house in a great location, so it's worth more. It costs more than an ugly house in a shitty location. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that just because someone has a lot of money doesn't mean they're worth a lot or that they've earned it. Now, it's more about how you got the money, and even more than that, what you do after you have it. Like, are you just being evil? Because a lot of people who have a lot of money they do really freaking evil things, like Diddy, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, or are you very quietly, leading a relatively humble life and helping people out when you can, and just generally being a cool, low-key sort of person, like generous and charitable and kind, and the money itself isn't going to make you evil, but if you're evil and you get money, and a lot of people who are evil do get money because, like, as I said, they'll do anything for money. Someone who's obsessed with money will do anything for money, aka, crime, fraud, and whatever. So the point is, don't respect someone or assume that they're worth more than you just because they have more money. So determine the worth of something based on the value that it provides, not its price. If you got your money by being a criminal and you use your money to disempower and mess with people, then, I don't have a lot of respect for you. Likewise, if you're a lottery winner or, an heir or whatever. And that brings me to, what is money, and who are these people at the top of the conspiracy reality pyramid? They're essentially the people who create money, who stand next to the money printer. And a lot of people don't realize this, but money is not printed by the government. It's not backed by anything except faith. Money comes into existence through the issuance of debt, primarily government debt. But, if you go to the mortgage and you take out a mortgage at a bank, and you take out a mortgage, and it's like, let's say it's $500,000, it's not like the banker goes, back to his vault and takes out $500,000 and then lends it to you on good faith, on believing that you'll pay him back that plus interest. Oh, he calls up the Fed and says, hey, we have a mortgage here. And the Fed creates that money out of thin air and lends it to the bank at 3% or whatever the rate is, and then the bank turns around and lends it to you for 8%, and so it's all kind of arbitrage. And so the people with the most money are the ones who didn't do anything for it. They just happen to be born into these families that own the central banks. They literally have unlimited money. Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world by a long shot. It's only through sheer sleight of hand, and cheap parlor trick magic that these people keep this thing going. I mean, at this point, it's like, what else are we going to do, right? Nobody can even think that far beyond our programming. We're so artificially intelligent when it comes to money. It's like, all right, well, I need money to live, so just got to play the game. And, you kind of do. But not really, because you can adopt the attitude that, hey, I can get everything I want, and you could just kind of shun materialism and obsession with money and just, do the things you love and get paid for them and live a good life. That's kind of how you don't actually get out of the matrix. I mean, you don't break the matrix. You just kind of vibrate at a higher frequency than the matrix. Let the matrix do its thing, But ultimately, the things that have value in this world have nothing to do with money. What makes a valuable life? It's like you have good relationships with people, you have beautiful, pleasant experiences, you don't have a lot of stress, you have good health. Good health is a result of low stress. And I would say, basically you're in touch with the natural flow of things, that makes a good life. And it has nothing to do with what kind of car you drive or, anything like that. So I hope that helps somebody out there. I hope you make big money and you don't have to screw anybody over for it. And I hope that you, when you have that big money, that you use it to help people who are less fortunate and be a good person instead of being a jerk. So, that's it. I'm Charles Lennart. This has been this episode of the NI versus AI podcast. Read my book and buy my records. Peace. Love you. P.S. My book is Rich Dick's Almanac. Like Poor Richard's Almanac, but the modern version. It's on Amazon. And my records are mostly under Charlie Hip Hop, Camel Case, capital C, capital H, capital H. All one word, Charlie Hip Hop and the Rubber Bands, Charlie Hip Hop and Band X. Also 3C, also... so buy my shit, give me money, yo, and I love you, and I'm gonna do good things with all that money, I promise you.